15 laps the distance. It's the young guns, Logan Johnson, Keaton Atkinson up front. Don't know that we can really call Keaton Atkinson a young gun much any longer. He's certainly a young man in his 20s, new child here with him, and he's looking to get it done for the second time at 67 Speedway to open up the season. It'll be Johnson and Atkinson, door above the word, going down to 1 and 2. Johnson going to slide up the track. Keaton going to diamond down to the inside of him there in that 24K. They'll be side by side going down to 3 and 4. This time it's Atkinson down low, Johnson up top.
Last week it took Atkinson all of 2 laps to carve his way from 6th to the race lead. This week, he's only able to get the second after 1 circuit. Johnson leads it. Here comes Atkinson, going to rail right around the bottom off the exit 2. He'll diamond off the corner. Into the race lead goes the Built Right Motorsports 24K. Keaton Atkinson to the race lead. Whitehead and 36J going to hustle his way up the third as they exit 4. Shea Gibbons up the 4th, and Wrinkle rounding out your top 5 after 3.
Whitehead trying to lose no ground there, trying to work to the inside of Johnson. He knows he's got to keep Keaton Atkinson in tow if he wants to get the job done. But first he's got to find his way around the 28 machine of Johnson. It's Whitehead really applying the pressure to Johnson for the second spot.
Yeah, good race here for the Bridesmaids Honors in a 1. Whitehead going to drive it off deep in a 1 and 2 in the 36J. Put that best engine power to the test. Move the 36J, the winningest driver at 67 over the last 15 years, bar none. Moving the second now. Johnson back at third, and around goes Logan Johnson in turn number 3, right in front of the field. Look out, Ricky Wrinkle. And Wrinkle took a...
We'll get clarification later there on how all that lineup went. But at the time, it's going to be 2 of the drivers, the best in the Arkansas factory stocks here of late. That's Keaton Atkinson, Shane Gibbons there. We'll see who can bring home the checkers tonight as Keaton gets another great restart in that 24K. Now Shane Gibbons going to look to the inside. Shane going right around the bottom. If he can get that car to rotate, looks like he picks up a little push there out of the exit, and that allows Keaton Atkinson to slip away up front.
I'll tell you, the bottom's there. We just saw Connor Williams win that limited modified race, rolling right around the hub of the racetrack for the entirety of that 15-lapper. Atkinson's found a really good groove right around the top where he's able to keep the momentum wound up underneath that best engine power plant, barking like a big dog underneath the hood of the frame rails of the 24K. As he continues to stretch it out, last time by was a 7/10 of a second was the advantage over Shane Gibbons in the 166. Ricky Wrinkle driving down to the inside of the 28 of Johnson for third.
That's one thing you'll never see with Keaton Atkinson. If there is a top, he's going to be up there on it, that's for sure. He's going to be selling you T-shirts all night long as he goes around the outside up in the cushion, that 24K. He'll keep her wound up down here. Turns 3 and 4 is it Shane Gibbons trying to work the bottom there in that number 1 machine. Ricky Wrinkle now with a pass. He's into third. Logan Johnson switches back to 4th, and Chad Abernathy rounding out their top 5.
In 17 wins a year ago for the Hot Springs, Arkansas racer Keaton Atkinson. Stretching it out to an almost entire straightaway advantage over the 166 is Shane Gibbons now. Ricky Wrinkle up to 30 and 92. Logan Johnson still rides 4th. And Mount Ada, Arkansas, Chad Abernathy has driven his way up to 5th in car number 10X now.
Back here for the battle for looks like about the 7th spot. That's going to be the 28K of Kyle Vaughn and the Pit Lizard Pimp. Riley Dawson there in that 14R. He'll work to the inside, move the Pit Lizard Pimp up a spot up to the 7th position in the 14R. And it's all Keaton Atkinson really starting to stretch that out over Shane Gibbons up front.
Yeah, he almost jumped it over there in 1 and 2 with all 4s over the cushion, but he was able to get it planted back on the racetrack. He is driving that 24K car right now on the edge of disaster. And that's what you got to do if you want to be fast here at 67 as the 14X of Dawson is around to the bottom of turn number 2. We'll get a KMP painting caution out.
5 cars strong there as we'll try and see what the night has in store. How about it, race fans? Any Keaton Atkinson fans in the house? Does he pick up win number 2 in a row?
I think it'd be pretty hard-pressed to bet against him at this point. Lights are out. We're backing away. Keaton Atkinson leads them into turns 1 and 2 on the restart. He'll send it off into 1 and 2. Just needs to hit his mark flawlessly on these restarts to keep the 166 of Gibbons at bay, who's been able to keep the 24K car within striking distance at least for the first couple of laps on each and one of these restarts. We'll see what we can do here off of 4. Atkinson continues to lead at 24K.
Shane Gibbons there really wanting to try and get that car to work on the bottom. He just, all night long, it seems like he just struggles through the center. Much better turn that time in 1 and 2. We'll see what he can do down here in 3 and 4. He gets it right down to the bottom, and right there in the center, he really has to check it up and loses a little bit of ground to Keaton. And it's Keaton Atkinson up front just really starting to drive away. Ricky Wrinkle back there in the 3rd spot. Logan Johnson's now starting to slide job, engage. Ricky Wrinkle crossover. They'll be side by side for the 3rd spot coming down the backstretch.
Yeah, really good racing back here for the 3rd spot as they roll into 3. They get the racing too hard. It's going to allow the 10X of Abernathy to go by as Wrinkle up the racetrack across the nose of the 28 of Johnson. 2 laps to go now for the 24K of Keaton Atkinson, but it is all war back here for the 3rd spot. Anybody's guess who's going to get that at the drop of the checkered flag.
White Castle serving up hard and heavy back here in the back of the pack in the 3rd spot. I say the back of the pack, they're all for the 3rd spot. Slide job in 1 and 2. Wrinkle returns the favor down in 3 and 4 with Johnson with the crossover once again. For the final time, Johnson now, he'll throw the slider once again in 1 and 2 for the 3rd spot. Wrinkle this time in the wall, not able to do the crossover. It allowed Johnson to get away into 3 and 4.
Final trip off of 4 to the checkers. Keaton Atkinson goes back-to-back and wins tonight's Arkansas Factory Stock main event here at 67.
Last corner, last lap, pass.